So find your good position, your awesome position. And before we continue, we're going to check in with our laughing muscles, see where we're at. If you can, just closing the eyes and starting to notice your breath. And without judging or really trying to alter anything just yet, just noticing where your breath is at. Is it deep or shallow? Is it in your chest, or can you feel it all the way down in your belly? And how does it feel to be focused on your breath? Have you done this more often today, or is this the first time checking in? Again, there's no judgment. We're just noticing how the body is responding to us being aware of the breath. And then I want to gently invite you guys to breathe all the way down to your belly. And with each inhale, using a little mantra, saying in. And with each exhale, following your breath out as you think out. If you can, try to envision the breath moving all the way down to your pubic bone, to your pelvic area. And as you breathe out, let everything you don't need anymore dissipate into the floor, into the ground, into the earth. And all the distracting thoughts, all the distracting sounds, maybe even all the distracting smells, we just let them be for what they are. Sensations or awareness around ourselves. So we check in and attune to our body, our breath. And we're going to make a little agreement with ourselves that we're going to listen to our body for the next hour. We're going to be gentle. And we're going to feel what is possible. We're going to use the support that we need. And we're going to ask for alterations if we need it. And as you stay aware of your breath, I'm going to sound the bell 3 times. Just let the sounds wash over you. And as you hear the bell die out, slowly start to notice the space around you. Noticing any areas of tightness in your body. And gently massaging those areas. May this be your legs, or your shoulders, your neck, or maybe the facial muscles. And as you gently and lovingly do so, Slowly move up your body, coming to your face as you massage your jaw, your cheeks, your forehead, your temples, and your eyes. And when you feel ready, opening the eyes. Awesome. Then we're going to start this class a little different. And we're going to start with the Shavasana. Just extend your legs, come all the way down onto the floor, extending the legs, feet about hip width apart, letting the feet drop out towards the sides, and putting our arms about 45-degree angle away from the body, and palms facing up as we make sure that we're not touching any props. Look up towards the ceiling as you gently close your eyes. And notice what it feels like for the body and the spine to be completely erect, to be completely straight. And notice the parts of your body that are touching the floor right now. As we go from our feet up to our head, just noticing those parts of the body, our heels, our calves, maybe our upper legs, our butt, our upper back, the upper arms, the elbow, the lower arms, the back of your hands, maybe your shoulders, and the back of your head. Slowly feeling all these points as with every exhale you sink deeper into the floor. And if any distracting thoughts come up, just try to go back to your breath, trying to follow the entire inhale, and if it helps, using the mantra in, and following the entire exhale, thinking out. Letting all your worries, all your to-do list, all your thoughts, and all the energy you don't need anymore, the negative energy, sink into the floor with every exhale. Again, if any thoughts come up, just bring yourself back to your breath. Your next inhale, extend your right arm above your head, and use the next inhale to push yourself with your left foot and roll over onto your belly. I'm going to quickly switch positions. I need to see the camera. As you are on your belly, just placing the elbows underneath the shoulders and coming into a Sphinx pose. Keeping the legs all zipped up and all together. And looking forward, right straight ahead, making sure that the shoulders are away from your ears. And if you need it today, Or if you just want to make yourself a little more comfortable, using a pillow underneath your belly or as high up as you would like to be. So it could also be a little more forward, and then you just lower a little bit. Just feeling your way into your lower back. Just start to become aware of your breath once more. Trying to breathe towards your lower belly. Noticing the difference with this position. How does it feel to breathe down to your belly in this position? Can you feel the belly expand onto the floor? Maybe even a little pressure? And as you exhale, can you feel that compression in your lower back? If any thoughts come up, we just let them go again, knowing this is not the time for them. And we check back in with the breath, back in with the body. If you feel comfortable enough, I encourage you to close your eyes again. Maybe even connecting with your inner organs. As you're relaxing them, and you might even notice that the digestion of your food starts to make sounds. While you listen to your breath going in and out. And if it helps, you can make the breath a little bit more pronounced by creating a little restriction in the back of your throat, starting to make an ocean breath. Remembering that the ocean breath should never hurt. So if it does, please let it go. We'll talk about it after class. Using your next exhale to come all the way down onto the floor, placing one hand on top of the other, placing your forehead on the floor, on the hands, sorry. letting the toes stay together and the heels drop out towards the sides, coming into a crocodile position. Just feeling the after effects of the swings we just did. Noticing how the lower back now relax all the way. As we just take a couple of breaths here. Using the next inhale to place the hands underneath our shoulders. And this is going to be the hardest transition for you. Selena, sorry. Coming on into a tabletop position. Extending the right leg out. And if you can, rolling over the toes just a couple times. As we stretch out that right leg. And using the next inhale to place our foot next to our hands. Both hands are going to be on the inside of your foot. Awesome. See how much you can inch that left leg back so you get it as straight that feels comfortable to you. You notice the stretching of the left hip flexor, the one that has a lot of issues with us sitting all day. So if it's tight, don't worry about that. Try to see your head as an extension of your spine, getting it in line with your spine. And again, if you feel comfortable, turning your gaze inward by closing the eyes and following your breath. If you feel like the stretch is becoming too much for any reason, and try placing a pillow up against the upper leg of that left leg so it keeps some of the weight off. And start to notice that inhale and that exhale. Becoming aware of the changes that happen on the inhale and the changes that happen on the exhale. Selena, if this is too much for you, let me know. I have an alternative for you. It's too much. Just go lie on your back. And hug one knee into your chest. Awesome, Vienna. Try to feel your breath going in and out. Using the next exhale to step that foot or that knee back into a tabletop position. And then extending the left leg so we can roll over our toes. Feeling a slight stretch in the back of our leg. Getting this leg ready. And then inhaling, stepping it next to our hands, both hands on the inside. And again, if you need it today, or you just want to keep it relaxed, using that pillow underneath that upper leg of the right leg, and feeling the compression in your left hip, and feeling the extension and the stretch in your right hip flexor. As you notice your in and your out breath, remembering that the neck is an extension of the spine. And if you can, try to breathe towards any areas of tightness, creating a little space on the inhale and trying to let go on the exhale. Remembering that the poses get harder due to the long holds, and if for any reason the pose becomes too much while we are holding it, adjusting it accordingly to make sure we never go beyond 80% and we never go into our pain or red zone. As you keep breathing towards your pelvic area, creating a little space on the inhale and letting go on the exhale. Using the next inhale to step your foot back and coming into a tabletop position, getting rid of the cushions if you were using those. As we're slowly curling our toes under and using the next exhale to slowly come into a downward facing dog. See what helps for you today to get to your downward facing dog. Any movement necessary is perfectly allowed. Extending the heels towards the floor as we remember to point our sits bones towards the ceiling. And extending our full back while we keep our shoulders away from our ears by letting the shoulder blades slide down our spine. Stepping one foot forward and then the other one as you come into a forward fold, which I'm not going to show. And grabbing your two blocks or your books to come in to a yogic squat. Putting the feet about hip width apart or wider. I'm going to show you from the front. It's clearer. I need to put them wider. And then sitting down, pressing our knees up against our forearms. Our upper arms and our upper arms back on our knees or our upper legs. While we put our pressure on our heels and sit back. Thinking how you're gonna let all the energy move down your spine as you breathe in and down into the floor as you breathe out. Just don't do it. Selena, just sit down. We're going to be out of this in a second. Sorry, sweetie. Just a couple more breaths. But if it's enough, it's enough. Using our next inhale to swim the arms back and the exhale to sit down. As we're going to do one of Darren's favorite poses, we're going to hug the knees in and roll back. And roll over your back a couple of times if you like to. And then find a place of stillness where we're just hugging the knees into the chest, either by placing the hands on the shins or the knees, or by actually grabbing your hands, folding your knees into your chest. And then starting to notice your breath again. As you breathe in, feeling the expansion of your lower your lower belly onto your upper legs, and your upper legs pushing back on your belly. Noticing where the breath goes from there, as it's restricted to go all the way down. You might feel the expansion in other areas. Try to explore, try to experiment with where it goes. And again, if it helps, starting with a little bit of an ocean breath, or using the mantra in and out. We're helping for the mind to stay focused, for our mind not to wander. And if our mind has a habit of wandering, then that's perfectly fine. Just try, when you notice it, to come back to your breath, back to your body. Try to see if you can keep your shoulders on the floor. This position stimulates the inner organs, helps your body to digest. Keeping the legs as they are, extend the arms into a T shape. And then let the legs fall towards the left side as you look into the right side. And if your knees stay up in the air for any reason, just use a pillow. I'm doing so don't feel embarrassed or ashamed. Please use whatever props you need to help your body relax. As this is the only way that the fascia will relax or stretch as well. And ultimately, that's what we want, to lubricate the fascia. And we might even be able to reverse a little bit of the aging process of the fascia, which helps us to become more flexible and helps the joints to move. Coming back to our breath. If we get distracted, as we try not to get irritated, we try to be loving and compassionate with ourselves. If there are any points of tightness, try to breathe towards that area, creating a little space on the inhale and letting go of muscle tension on the exhale. And if there are any distracting sounds, just slowly coming back to our breath. Noticing the expansion of the inhale and a contraction of the exhale. Inhaling, bringing the knees up towards the ceiling. And exhaling, letting the knees drop towards the right side. Taking the pillow with you if you can. And looking into your left hand to complete the twist in your spine. remembering that the head or the neck is an extension of the spine. By looking into our left hand, we're twisting our spine all the way from the lowest vertebrae to the highest vertebrae. As we come back to our breath, and notice the difference between the two sides. Maybe one side is more flexible than the other. Instead of resisting that or getting frustrated or judging that by any means, just try to use your props accordingly. If you need an extra pillow on this side, use it. If you need a pillow in between your legs as well, please use it. As you gently breathe into your lower belly, you can also try to use a little bit of a different visualization, thinking of the breath coming in through the top of your head, the crown of your head, moving all the way down to your lower belly. And as you breathe out, reversing the direction, feeling the breath go in and out along your spine. Or for people who are more familiar with the central channel, breathing in and out through the central channel. Again, you might start to notice any sounds, your food being digested. That's all perfectly normal. It's actually what we want during the yin yoga classes. As we try to get our body into a rest and digest state. However, we're not changing what is. So if that's not happening for you, then that's fine too. As we gently get in contact with the body, feeling the breath flow in and out. If you notice there is still some muscle tension, maybe in your back or your groin area, try to let go of that tension with every exhale. Maybe still some tension in your feet. See if you can let go of that. As we breathe in, letting the knees come up towards the ceiling. And we breathe out, extending the legs all the way down. Getting our arms alongside our body. And then scooting all the way over to the left side of your mat. Hands, arms, everything. Using the next inhale to extend the arms overhead. And then scooting your heels over to the right side of your mat. Just gently. And doing the same thing with your arms as well. As we're stretching the left side of the body, and we come into the so-called banana pose. Seeing ourselves lying on the mat, curved just like a banana. And if you feel like today you need a little bit of an extra stretch, and you can cross your left ankle over the right one, and you can grab your left wrist with your right hand. But I do want you to remember that this is quite a subtle stretch, but you're going to feel it. So please don't overdo it. If your left hip starts talking to you, then that's your cue to at least uncross your legs. And as we start, you breathe in and out towards the lower belly once more. Noticing how the in-breath increases the stretch on the left side, and how the out-breath increases the compression on the right side. As we see our bodies being in this balance, this balancing act between stretching and compressing. Maybe you notice your skin stretching. And how often are you really aware of your skin? And try to see if you can feel all the way through what your skin is telling you right now. And as you're scanning your body, try to see if you can let go of any muscle tension that's still there. Using the inhale to go towards that area. And using the exhale to release the muscle tension. If you get distracted, just try to come back to your body, to your breath. Using the next inhale to take your arms back above your head on the left side of your mat. And then breathing out and using the next inhale to scoot back your legs as well to the left side of your mat. And just be there for a couple of breaths as you feel what the previous pose did. Noticing how your left side might now start to relax or how the skin is reacting. And then we're going to take our time scooting over towards the right side of the mat. Keeping the arms extended overhead. And then inching our way over with our feet towards the left side of the mat. See what works for you today. And then inching the arms over to the left side, coming into a banana pose on the right side. Feeling the stretch of the right side of your body and the compression on your left side. Maybe noticing the difference between the left and the right side. Also remembering that we were in the previous pose for quite a while, so give your body some time. Might actually end up feeling the same on both sides. If you feel like you need a little more, then you can cross your right ankle over your left one and grab your right wrist with your left hand. Again, remembering that everything should still be able to relax. So if you feel a lot of muscle tension building when you do this, then please inch back, uncross your legs, and see if you can relax your entire body into the floor once again. Remembering to use the inhale to create space or go towards an area, and using the exhale to relax. Remembering to follow our breath, especially when the distracting thoughts or sounds are present. If you can also follow your in and exhale all the way down your spine or your central channel once again. Noticing the changes, the expansion of the inhale, and what that does to the rest of your body, the compression of the exhale. As we use our next inhale to get our arms back towards the right side of the mat, and breathing out. And then using our next inhale to bring our feet back towards the right side. We take a couple of breaths here to notice. Maybe you can notice now that the left and right side are more balanced than when we just did this on the left side. And inching towards the middle of our mat and bending our knees so that we can probably touch our heels with the fingertips. We grab our sturdy pillow. And as we inhale, we're getting our back flush with the mat. And on the exhale, we're just gonna let the pelvic bones come forward, the hip bones shine forward, up towards the ceiling. And we're gonna take our pillow and put it underneath our bum as we're gonna gently let our body or our bum rest on the pillow, coming into a supported bridge. You have a number of options to where you're gonna place your arms or your hands. You can decide to place them on your hip bones or in your belly. You can also decide to place them overhead in more of a diamond shape or just alongside your body like you would in Shavasana. You can try out all these different positions if you like and see which one you prefer today. As you connect to your breath and let go of any muscle tension. Noticing how your feet are perfectly balanced and how your back, your lower back and your bum are supported. Noticing the pressure on your upper back and maybe even a little on your head. As you look up towards the ceiling, gently closing the eyes to get the gaze inward. And as you breathe deeply towards your belly, maybe you can also notice the expansion of the lower back onto the pillow. And noticing how that changes on the exhale. Maybe you start to notice a little tremor or a little shaking in the legs. Just want you to know that's perfectly fine. And we actually encourage it, as this is some stress or some strain leaving your body. Irena, I can tell that you got out of the position. That's perfectly fine. And if you want to stay there, that's fine. But you could also try to maybe let the feet point up towards the ceiling if that works for you. I can't do it at the moment, so I'm sorry. If it's your lower back, then just stay like this. We'll go into a previous next pose in a minute. All good. Taking our final couple of breaths in this position. Feeling gratitude fill our body. Using our next inhale to lift our hip bones up towards the ceiling and then taking away the pillow and using the exhale to come down. Now rolling on to the right side as we push ourselves up with our left hand. As we bring the soles of our feet together in whatever position works for you today, so maybe a little closer, maybe a little further away. You know the position of your of your feet that you like. And then grabbing the feet, putting our fingers on the toes and placing our thumbs on the ball joint or a little below that. Inhaling, straightening our back, and exhaling, folding forward. If you want, you can open the feet up like a book. But if that's too much or you don't like the muscle tension, then just let go. rounding our back so our head points towards the sole of our feet. And if you notice that your knees are still far away from the floor, that's fine. I mean, I don't think anybody is really able to lower them all the way down to the floor, but if you feel like there's too much tension in your groin, just get a couple of pillows and place them under your knees. And then using the exhale to fold forward once more. Be gentle to yourself and help your body release the muscle tension. And as you start to breathe towards your lower belly, also notice the expansion of your sides and your lower back. And notice the release of muscle tension as you breathe out. Noticing how the body is now fully relaxing into this position. Noticing the stretch of your lower back, the opening of your groin, your hips. Using the next inhale to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. And grabbing our strap or our scarf. With all soccer rivalry going on. Now we're going to place the strap take the middle of the strap. I usually take a little bit out of the middle, but just sort of like that. And then bringing it around the feet. Then bringing the long end of the strap all the way around your back. Oh, I probably should have said this before, but you want to get your blocks as well, the bigger ones, before everybody's strapped down and I can't do anything anymore. So then you're going to make a loop by either making a knot in the scarf or using the strap the way it's intended. Tightening it up, but not too much. Just make it feel like it's gently pulling your legs in just a hair. And making sure that the buckle of your strap is not it's just floating in the air between your back and your feet because you're gonna lay down. What you want to do with your blocks, I should have probably also grabbed mine, is we're gonna place that in a fish pose position. So we're gonna do it in a T. And if you really needed the support of your knees in the previous pose, then please make sure that you have two pillows for that as well. Or anything else that works. Then placing that lower block at your bra strap and using that other block to land your head on. Making sure that the first block is really centered so that your spine is comfortably resting on it. And Maybe some of you saw that I placed mine on the side. If that's too much for you, you can also place it flat, especially for eating it. That might be better. Good. And then extending the arms alongside like you would in Shavasana, or placing them on your belly, whichever feels good to you right now. And just like we normally would in fish pose, you can also decide to let the arms circle up. So what I mean by that is that we can inch them up. And at each state, feel how we feel. And then if we decide we want to go a little deeper, we can inch them up once more until they're all the way extended overhead. But I would not recommend doing that straight away. So just try to ease your body into doing that. Just start to notice your in and out breath once more. Maybe noticing a little tension on the strap. Or just keeping your feet closed. Letting your hips open up. Feeling how your chest and your heart chakra is opening. Your heart space. And try to feel what your throat is doing as well, as this pose also opens up the throat chakra. So if for any reason you start to feel a little pressure on your chest or on your throat, try and see if you can breathe through it. Of course, we're not looking for any pain, but if it's emotions coming up, that's fine. See if you can breathe through that, just letting it be what it is, just trying to welcome it, not trying to alter it or make it go away, just meeting it. If it helps you in any way, even asking it what it wants, what it needs. Any feelings that come up are valid. They don't need an explanation, they don't need a why. Just let them be. You should continue to breathe towards your lower belly, or if you need that more, to any areas of tightness or any emotions. If it helps you, you can also decide to place your left hand on your chest and place your right hand on top, or your right hand even on your throat if that feels good. Validating any feelings and giving it a little bit of love and attention. If this, however, puts too much strain on your back, then please let at least the elbows land on the floor. And maybe hold on to your rib cage. On the next inhale, use your hands to bring your knees together. And you can also slip the feet out of the circle, the scarf or the belt that we made. And then using the left foot to roll yourself onto your right side. And just stay there for a couple of breaths as the upper back is relaxing. Taking the blocks away. As we come on to our back once more and getting ready for Shavasana. If you want to get rid of your scarf or your belt, you can. If you want to leave it, that's fine too. Making sure that you're not touching any props in Shavasana. Extending the legs outward. Heels or feet about hip width apart. Grabbing your blankie, covering yourself to stay warm. And then extending the arms alongside. Palms facing up. As we let the entire practice be incorporated into the body. Noticing the effects of all the poses. And feeling how our body is sinking into the floor. Noticing the difference from the Shavasana at the beginning of class and this one. As you hear the bells die out, Gently start to deepen your breath and bring a little movement back into your fingers and into your toes. Using the next inhale to stretch out the entire body, head to toe. And using the exhale to hug the knees into the chest, rolling a little side to side. Coming on to your right side in a fetal position. Using your right arm as a pillow. Taking a couple of breaths here to wake up the body. And using your left hand on the next inhale to push yourself up towards a seated position. Remaining with the eyes closed and the gaze inward. As you're ready, and coming into your comfortable position, placing a left hand on your lower belly and the right hand on your heart. Trying to breathe towards both areas, connecting both areas. Feeling gratitude towards the practice and gratitude towards our body for supporting us. Feeling gratitude for have taken the last hour to take care of our body, our breath, and ourselves. Being kind, gentle, and loving. Bringing our hands in a prayer position in front of our chest. Palms facing one another. As we bring our thumbs onto our forehead, we think peaceful thoughts. Bringing our thumbs towards our lips, peaceful words. Bringing our thumbs towards our heart space, peaceful heart. As I slightly bow my head and whisper to you, Namaste.